Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and this is episode 275 of the world famous, the University of Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. Ladies and gentlemen, we just call it Online Marketing Moves, and we're coming to you live today. Today is Sunday, May the 9th, 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, I got an article from the Uranus Times, and it said that Online Marketing Moves is the number one podcast in Uranus and Pluto. So, see, we are out there. We are far out there in the galaxy. But anyway, today, ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday. We are just going to talk about you, and we are going to talk about what you need to do to really get down the road as far as this business now, because I want all of us I want all of us to bust out of jail, It's like the movie Shawshank Redemption, which if you've never seen that movie, I highly recommend you watch it one day. It was it's about a guy who spends 20 years working his way getting out of jail to get his freedom. And for me, now maybe for you, you might not be, you know, we might not be the same age, but we're working on the same goal. If you're listening to this podcast, you want to bust loose. You want to learn about some online marketing moves. You want to, get your online business off the ground. You want to start making enough money so that way you can say, adios amigos to your job or whatever. So we are on the chain gang of life, working at the job. Now, I'm not, as you well know, having a job is not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad. It's cool. It's whatever, whatever. But it's something that I don't want to do anymore. I'm sure it's something that you don't want to do anymore. So we are here to figure out what we can do for ourselves. This is why we are here. This is the business we have chosen. Okay, so we are trying to work on stuff for ourselves. So, in the movie Shawshank Redemption, Andy Dufresne, he used a little hammer rock, and he sort of chipped his way, for 20 years down this tunnel, and he finally dug it up enough. Took him a while, but he got there, and then he waited one night during the storm. If you haven't seen the movie before, I'll tell you, even if it might sound like I'm giving away the ending, but go ahead and watch it anyway, because it's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. But it's right up there with Bridges in Madison County. If you listen to the podcast yesterday, we discussed Bridges in Madison County. Today we're discussing Shawshank Redemption. Some of us are stuck in the 90s, apparently. I thought about something. Not to get off on a tangent, but I was thinking about my unborn daughter, this morning, and I thought she's gonna come into the world full of technology. Like they have, me and my wife yesterday, we laid down and we pulled up the iPad and we watched Discovery Plus, watched the episode of some cooking show, and I'm like, this is so crazy how the technology. And the reason why I think about that sometimes is I'm 41 years old. And I remember a time where, maybe you're the same age, maybe you're not, but I remember a time where me and my mom and my brother, we were driving down the highway and the car broke down, and they only had payphones, and we was out in the middle of the country, because I grew up out in a small town, so we walked to somebody's door, knocked on the door, and they let us use their phone. Like how crazy is that? Now you would never, if the car broke down, you would just grab your cell phone and call whatever you have to call. But it's crazy. I remember that. And I remember us riding in the front seat, like, because I had this dream. My daughter asked me, what's something that you done that's kind of crazy? And I'm like, 5 years old, riding in the front seat, no seatbelt. You know what I mean? So some of us can relate to that, some of us can't, but those were just the times that we lived in. And I remember when I went to the military, I went to the Navy, and I was in San Diego, and these guys, they was like, "Well, we getting cell phones." I'm like, "Cell phone? The hell's that?" And we went to the store and I got a cell phone and I had it for like 2 months, and I was like, "Oh, this sucks." I said, "I don't like these cell phones," and I got rid of it. And I didn't I didn't get another cell phone until 2004, baby. When I went to truck driving school, I had a cell. This is crazy. I'll tell you this. I had a cell phone when I went to truck driving school, and then my first year driving trucks, I did not have a cell phone. I was just sort of driving around, and every now and then I would call my parents from a payphone like once a week, and that was that. And I was like, I don't need a cell phone, but eventually I got one because I'm like, I'm gone a lot. I might need this thing, but who knew that cell phones were gonna become basically, you got a left and right hand, and then you got the third hand with the cell phone. You know what I mean? So anyway, all of that's crazy, but um, you know, but yeah, back back to the story at hand. I mean, listen, for me, I'm. It's sort of one of those things. Like I'm right in the middle. I'm not my parents where they grew up with no technology. No, a TV. Not a computer. You know what I mean? And so I'm right in the middle. Like I see the technology. I was in my 20s. Like the internet and all that kind of stuff. Well, 18, 19 with the internet, and now I'm just like, man, it's like a before and an after, and it's just sometimes it's mind boggling to me. But anyway, we're back to the chain, and you and I are back to the chain gang. So we're on the chain gang of life, of working a job, and it's not bad. It's whatever, but there are certain things that you have to do on a regular basis if you want to get the freedom, like my man Andy Dufresne. Every night, Andy Dufresne, every night he, for the most part, he worked on his tunnel digging. You know what I mean? And every day, you and I need to work on our, you know, content. We need to work on the emails. You need to work on everything on a daily basis. Get into the habit, you know, if you're not being successful, if it's not, what I don't want for you is, you know, every day is not going to be a home run. And I do not want you to get discouraged because every day is not a home run. Every day is not going to be a home run. Some days you're going to strike out. Some days you're going to hit a single. Some days a double, a triple. You know what I mean? But the most important thing is every day you show up and every day you are willing to put in the work, because it will happen. Now, timelines, there's a sort of a double-edged sword about this. There's a double-edged sword about time. You know, life is short, but time is forever. You know what I mean? And it's like it's one of those things. Like, yeah, we live a life where people try to put a timeline on everything, but at the same time, you can't rush this whole thing. Like I wish that you could make $1 million every day. Like I wish that, but for the most part, majority of the people, it's not gonna happen. Unless we come up with Amazon 2.0. But we're not. So it's not going to be a bed of roses on a daily basis. But I'll tell you like this: the further you go along, and once you strike the once you start striking the oil, and you get some oil, then you'll figure out how to get more oil and more oil, and then every day you will start making money from there. That is the most important thing that you have to understand. Like, yeah, it's it's hit and miss in the beginning. It's hit and miss. It's a lot of hit and miss sometimes, but once you get your audience, and once you gain steam, and once you get momentum, and once you have it established, then the pipeline, the oil line will be there forever and ever. And it's up to you to maintain it. Now, you don't have to, you know, we talked about this before. You can always record episodes for the future. You can always record videos for the future. But the most important thing is that you show up every single day. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, come up with something. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, you know. If you've heard this podcast, some episodes 5 minutes, you know. Some episodes 29 minutes. Some episode I've had a couple episodes where they lasted 40 minutes. One episode I remember, classic episode. It was about dating. I told a lot of stories about relationships. You know, if you can go find that episode, check it out. It's to me it's one of the better ones, but you know, that's just me. But but every day, you know, we're here. Every day we show up. Every day we put in the work. It's hard sometimes because you are not, you know, I see these people and sometimes I even get kind of annoyed sometimes because you see people and you're like, yeah, I could do all that too if I had this amount of time. But right now, I don't have a lot of time. You might not have a lot of time. But the most important thing is we will have that much time. If we just keep doing what we are doing, you will get that much time. You and I will have all the time in the world. And then it's like, you know, are you now you're a full time entrepreneur. You're full time on your own. Now what are you gonna do? You know, you have to remember, and plus, you can't be the person that says, if I had all that time in the world, what are you doing with the time you have now? What are you doing with the time you have today? What are you doing with the time that you have this moment? You might have 1 hour out of the day. What are you doing with that hour? Are you wasting that hour or are you complaining about that hour? Because if you're sitting there complaining about that hour, then it's doing you no good. What you have to do is take the little time that you have now, maximize it. And then when you get more time, maximize all the time and then watch it grow. I'm telling you, you will, once you get into the habit now, keep showing up now. Whenever you're able to get off the chain gang, you will say, hey, I got 24 hours now. I can do what I want to do and I can make a lot of different things happen. All right. So that's what I want for you. And just remember in the beginning, because, you know, if you don't email your guy, I don't know where you're at in life. So you can always email. That'd be cool. I would like to listen. You can email, you could call, you could text. I'm gonna have to give out my information one day so that way we can all keep in touch. Before I get too big time on you, you know, and I won't answer your phone. I'll just kidding. I'm only kidding. But no, the thing is every day, just showing up, every day putting in a little work. It doesn't have to be like even we talked about this before, even on some Sundays, you know, or whatever day, one day out the week, you know, if you just take a rest, you know, that's showing up. That's replenishing the body. You know, we all need the rest. We all need sleep. We all need, you know, the recovery. We all need that. You know, you don't want to be the person suffering burnout because once you suffer burnout, trust me, burnout is hard to come back from. Burnout is once you get burnt out of something, it's hard to get it back. I'll give you I give you a couple of examples of burning out. Yours truly. I remember I used to eat Apple Jacks every day. Every day. As a kid, every day. And one day I said, I remember I said, oof, Apple Jacks, sick of Apple Jacks. I'm done with Apple Jacks. I've never eat another Apple Jack again, okay? I remember when I was in high school and I worked hard. I worked very hard to try to get my grades up to snuff. And I remember my senior year, I didn't know it at the time, but I was just sort of toast. I was fried. I said, whew, that's it. I'm done with school. I said, high school, F it. I'm over it. I'm over this. I'm over this. Bleep, 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 bleep. And my last semester, my senior year, I had nothing. I had nothing to give. I gave absolutely nothing. If you could, you could be somewhere and not. What do they be saying? Show me somewhere you can be, but you're not there. I could show you them grades. I went from what I have like a 3.7 or whatever on the 4.0 scale and all that jazz. And last semester, I think I had like 3 Fs, 4 Fs. It was just I just couldn't care. I could care less that I was just burnt out. You think about it. People like, nah, the senior thing. Nah, nah. I'm pretty sure I was burnt out. I was just tired. You know, enough studying, enough of all that jazz. But yeah. So you don't want to suffer from that, but just show up every day and put in the work, and you'll see the results. And I know people are always like, hey, you're gonna fail at something. Yeah, of course, we've all had things that we failed at. Doesn't matter what it is, relationships, friendships, business things. We've all failed at something already. So it's you know what happens. But the thing about this is with the internet marketing, with the online business, with the starting a business online. Whatever you want to do, it's you start off with one thing. Maybe that's not working for you. You pivot and you try and you do something else. But you just keep putting in the work. It might take you 5 years. It might take you 2 years. It might take you 3 months. It might take you 1 week. Doesn't matter as long as you make it work for you. Because if you think about it, a lot of people put timelines on a lot of different things, but it took me 7 years to actually get the whole truck driving thing down pat. You know, I remember my one of my little cousins. He was like 9 years old before he actually learned how to tie a shoe. But he learned how to tie a shoe eventually. And yeah, I know people say that, and it is kind of dumb. It's like, do what when babies start walking? Do they fall? What happened? Do they just stop trying? And it's like, well, of course not. Of course, no baby would stop effing trying. But don't don't give up on your dreams. Don't give up on your dreams of financial freedom, or don't give up on your dreams of having time freedoms, and don't give up on your dreams of working for yourself. Like, don't give up on those dreams. Yeah, the thing that you're doing might not work, but come back and try something else. Come back and try other things. Like, if there's a will, there's a way. There's always a path. And it's just we have to stick with it. That's the problem. A lot of times, it's easier to say, "Oh, that didn't work," and go back to the job and be like, "I'll just work this job until I'm 80 years old." But sometimes things get hard and we just want to quit because I mean, I know I do. Like like exercise. Like when I'm exercising, I'm like, it's 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, a month, and I'm like, whew, I'm sore. And I'm just like, a lot of times before I would just sort of quit, but now I'm in a mind frame where I don't quit. I don't quit things. I keep trying and keep trying, because for one, why not? And for two, you don't know how long you have on this earth, man. You know what I mean? Like, I've my cousins, God bless them. One was 50, one was 27, and one was 40 years old, and they all passed within the last year. So we never know when our time is up. But the main thing is, if you gave it your all while you was on this earth, then you can't look back and say, I regret this, I regret that. I'm gonna live my life with no regrets. Like, I gave it my all. I'm giving it my all. I'm putting in everything I can as far as this business, as far as this podcast, as far as everything. And I want the same for you. Put in all the effort you can. And don't stop. You know, don't stop until the end. You know what I mean? Like, it's never over. It ain't over until it's over. All right. And just because one thing doesn't work, don't mean the other one won't work. It's sort of like an inventor. Thomas Edison had like 100,000 patents or something like that. You know what I mean? The man just kept trying. He just kept trying things. And I want the same for you. And you keep trying things, and it'll all work out, man. Man, woman. When I say man, you have to forgive me. I mean everybody. So don't I know in this world we have a lot of I know in this world not everybody's uptight about everything. So, you know, if you are a one man listening to this, don't get offended because I call you man, you know. All right. Anyway, that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the podcast. Go out there, tackle the world, man. Get off the chain gang. And when you get off the chain gang, let me know. All right. And I will see you on the other side as well, you know. Like they said in the movie, you know, Andy Dufresne, he had to swim through 100 yards of shit to get clean on the other side. All right, however that goes. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, go out there and enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the world, and we will be back tomorrow with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, I am Tony Rizzano, and ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, if you haven't told your friends, your family, all your cousins, your brothers, your uncles, your sisters, your mothers, your grandmas, your co-workers about the best podcast in the galaxy, then what the hell are you waiting on? All right. Go out there, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Spread the word. Online Marketing Moves is the best podcast in 1, 2, what? 3 galaxies. But until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. My name is Tony Rizzano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace. Well, that was a good time.